It is the Danny Beard and Fanny. Were there any unexpected romances or flirty vibes that the cameras missed or toned down? Everyone was saying that Trisha was a bit flirty.
Sorry.
Do you remember?
Trisha. I'm so sceptical of relationships in there.
Wait, they split up?
What?
I can't believe you're hearing this from me. You kind of look like Princess Diana. Right?
I mean, if you saw me in that pirate episode with Mickey Rourke, I'm like, no, Mickey. They were there for the paycheck.
With regard to Jojo in the house.
When Jojo nominated me, it felt personally. Actually, this is the tea. And you probably won't agree. Okay. Look at you when I said this is the tea. You like totally looked down the lens like we're getting something juicy.
Welcome back to another episode of Not My Bag. Today I'm joined by, well, it's my winner of Celeb Big Brother. It is the Danny Beard and Fanny.
Hi.
It's Danny and Fanny.
How are you, good?
I'm okay. How are you both?
Fanny, I'm great. Fanny's got the zoomies, so she's not going to last 5 minutes on me. I might just let her run round the gaff.
Fanny is lubed up with sun cream. And for those at home listening, Fanny is Danny's dog. And this is not a weird start to the episode.
No, I've not gone rogue and changed sexuality. But she's a hairless dog, hence the sun cream, for those at home also listening. She's like... I could get emotional. She's like my actual child.
She's gorgeous. She really emulates you. She's very energetic, very campy, nice head of hair. Do you know what I mean?
Little rhinestone on the collar. Just in case you didn't know I was gay, I've got a hairless dog called Fanny with a rhinestone collar.
Like dog like owner, do you know what I mean? Before we kick off with the first segment, how are you? How have things been since coming out?
Honey, it's been so fun. The whole experience was so fun. Being out, I never thought about after, really. When you get the call to go, you think, oh my God, I hope I don't make a show of myself. I hope people like you. You go through all these things. And then I was kind of expecting to be back on Saturday.
Yeah.
The final was a Friday. Back at home.
Yeah.
Been in my own bed one night.
But
I'm not complaining.
Booked and busy.
Booked and busy, not complaining. Having the nicest time, and everyone is so nice to me. Like, before, people know me off Drag Race or maybe some other bits I've done. And, you know, the girls, the gays and the days might spot you and like, oh, hi. But honest to God, now it's like kids, grannies.
We love that, though.
I feel like Princess Diana on the street.
And it must be so strange for you as well, outside of drag. Obviously, in drag, you've got quite a distinctive look that everyone will notice you, whereas outside of drag, now you are the Danny Beard. Like my mum said today, she was like, please say hello to win.
She knows who I am. It's so crazy.
She was rooting for you to win, honey.
We were all rooting for you. No, I'm joking.
And I actually was saying before this started that I've seen the tweets that said that you probably would have if it wasn't for the gays being out on a Friday night.
Well, I did say the gays let me down.
I can't lie to you, Danny. I was also out for my friend's birthday.
You're a bit.
But I did use all my votes on you, so
bless you.
I did. Not sure if... Yeah, I can say that. Yeah,
and the thing is as well, it's almost like I obviously wanted to go in there, be me, have fun, and hope more people I'd be on the radar. Like, my dream is to present. My dream is to do more TV. But that I also have a really amazing job that I love in drag and doing and touring the world. I'm still touring. I've got loads of stuff going on in drag. So this is just like a little extra little thing.
And such an amazing thing for you to do.
Yeah.
Because there was this thing before, and people have said it to me, where they trial people on the Late and Live panel to get them in with the audience. So obviously you and Donna were on the panel a lot. Is that a thing that they do? Like, is that like...
I don't know if that's a thing that they do.
Like, interesting.
I wouldn't know because you don't find out how production works ever. But it is true. I've done Late and Live since the show started on ITV.
Yeah.
And then last series I was a celeb panelist for a week. And I loved that week. And I love Late and Live. But I love live TV.
So good, isn't it?
It's so good.
I remember that was my first ever thing ever on telly since Gogglebox Live that I've ever done. And I was really nervous when I went into it was like in a cabin, wasn't it, outside that they had. And I said, can I swear? And they went, we've had Danny Beard in last week.
Is that what they said?
And they went, you can swear. They went, just no C-bombs. And I was like...
that was probably after I dropped the C-bomb live on ITV. I got ITV ITV2 took off air.
Babe, I'm not being funny, but
That's a
after
claim
what
to
Tiffany
fame.
Pollard did, while
I've
you
not
were
seen
in there,
her.
yeah. So catch up on TikTok later today, but you were fine. It was so funny though. It was
Chaos.
It was chaos. It wasn't bad. It was just I think that TV era, as we don't really do that anymore, do we? That kind of.
She doesn't give two.
She don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
As long as she's cashing that check, she don't give a fuck.
And I think Americans do reality so different.
They do.
I think in the UK, we just want to stay true to ourselves, and the people, that rise to the top are generally the fun ones or the funny ones or whatever. In America, like if you watch American Traitors, which I'm obsessed with,
I need to watch it.
honey,
You'd be good on the Traitors, actually.
I'd love to be on the Traitors, but I couldn't do the Traitors because they started filming it like a couple of days before the end of the Big Brother.
But they have, I think they will definitely do a second season.
Oh, they've
so I
got
can see
to.
you on that 100%.
I'd love to, but the American Traitors, they're so much more cutthroat,
Are they?
and they're all from like Survivor and like Housewives, where everything is about conflict.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, if you saw me in that pirate episode with Mickey Rourke, I'm like, no, Mickey, it's a joke. Like, I like palms up, like steer away from conflict.
Hearts up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that about this series of Big Brother, but UK TV in as a whole at the minute is very much more kind of friendly, family based, isn't it? And connections as opposed to
And I think
fights,
it should be.
which I think is good because the UK's in a state, so I think it's good to have that.
But I also think people do actually still secretly love a conflict, which is why Traitors does so well.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of conflict, but it's not personal and it's not real conflict. The conflict comes from playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people still love Big Brother, because when you do the face-to-face noms or nominations, it's kind of conflict that's induced by the show, but it's not real conflict. It's not deep, as Donna Preston would say.
As Donna did with her nominations, it was never that serious. We normally start off with the vibe check bag, right? But I've got a little game for us to play.
Do it.
It's sip or spill. So get your voddy out at 10 a.m. So I'm going to hit you with some questions, and you've basically got to answer them or sip your drink.
Okay, great.
So,
I might just answer them all.
please.
Are you being a bitch?
Look, I'm not the producer.
I can hear the producer laughing from behind the wall. Someone's being a
Saffron
bitch.
always sits behind the camera going, So, who was completely different off camera compared to how they acted when the cameras are rolling? Which is also a strange question because obviously the cameras are always rolling. But is there anyone that was like a little bit played up to it type of thing? I think is what we're trying to get at.
I mean, I can answer it, but you're not going to be happy. I think everyone kind of was what you... I mean, I've only seen 2 episodes, so it's hard for me to say, but I think everyone was pretty much themselves. Like, I mean, we're filming 24/7, 7 days a week.
Yeah, if
3
you could
weeks.
keep up an act for that, then...
Then Meryl Streep needs to move the fuck over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally.
So I don't think anyone was, but what I would say is it is a celebrity version of a show, and there's a reason they put that version of the show on ITV1. We all like to have fun and like know what we're doing.
Yeah, okay, cool. Which housemate surprised you the most, either in a good way or in a shockingly bad way?
I mean, I could answer this on a couple of people who surprised me the most. Michael Fabricant surprised me the most. I didn't think I would get on with him just purely based on his politics, but then that makes me no better, I don't think, than the people that judge me. So I gave him a chance and realised there was loads I had in common with him, and I was like, I don't know if I've got the ick or if I'm going to be sick, or actually if I'm
episode, and you were really, you're really getting on, and I think I could see it in your eyes. You were like, "Oh, I don't want to like." Do
I was like, "This is it. The girls, the gays, and the theys are going to hate me. I've got a Tory minister in my phone." But that's life, and I think that's what Big Brother defo shows you is. And I said it on my exit interview: if you just give people 5 minutes, we've all got more in common.
Yeah, totally. And anyone surprised you in a bad way? And this doesn't have to be catty. It could be just living with people and not knowing and realising what they're actually like.
Anyone surprised me in a bad way? Don't know why I'm saying it like that. That coffee's hitting. I'm like, in a bad way. Not really, no. I mean, listen, I've got best friends that I've known for 10 plus years that I would not want to live with. So I think when you do a show like Big Brother, you're all on mutual ground. You know what I mean? It's not, because I was paranoid, because at home, I'm very much like, I've got a friend and she goes round and I always have a big stock drinks fridge. And I'm like, oh, finished with that, warmed up as it, because there's half cans everywhere. But then I was doing it in that house and I thought, you're such a hypocrite. So I think because we're all on like mutual ground, everyone chips in a bit. You know, Patsy did a lot of cooking. I did a lot of cooking. Donna did a lot of cooking.
Bless her. Patsy was very passionate about her cooking and she came under fire from Mickey and I saw it was like a dagger to the heart.
It crushed her.
And I could see it.
And you know what? I think she was just doing a nice thing for everyone. And I couldn't work Patsy out at first, but she has got the biggest heart.
Yeah.
She's wild. And she's so unintentionally funny, which I love. Like, my career and my job is making people laugh and having a good time. And when someone can do it without thinking about it, I can't explain.
You've probably not seen the clip because it's, if you haven't watched much of it back, but there was a bit where she was having a conversation with Jojo in the bathroom.
Yeah, I saw it.
And then she just
pied her off. She just pied her right off.
It's just so camp. It's so funny. Like, and Jojo's just like...
But then I noticed Jojo's like talking to the cameras, and I was like, "Girl, are we all been talking to the cameras in here?" Like, there was like one moment where I got on the bed with Ella, and you could just hear this camera above the good, and we were like, "No cameras."
Yeah,
I think that's the only time I addressed the camera.
Yeah, Jojo's seasoned, professional.
Yeah,
she knows what she's doing. Were there any unexpected romances or flirty vibes that the cameras missed or toned down? Obviously, aside the obvious. I think there was some bits about, was it, everyone was saying that Trisha was a bit flirty. Was that it?
People, sorry.
Do you remember?
Trisha.
I was given these questions by
goddamn
ITV.
Trisha got on. Absolutely not. Who was she flirting with?
I don't know, but I was given this question by ITV and it said, like, talk to Trisha about the flirting. And I thought, what flirting?
See no
unless
flirting.
I missed anything.
But then I think I'm a flirty personality.
Right.
I flirt with everyone. I was even giving Michael a flirt at one point. I think he got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, that's why you two were getting on so well.
Girl, she planted them lips on me on the way out. And I was like, oh, I'll give her me cheek. And she got
Love that
straight
for
on the
you.
lips.
So no unexpected romances.
No unexpected romances.
Yeah, do you know what? Sometimes I miss that, you know, in the Big Brother thing where people get together, like that environment. But it's not really like that anymore. No one really does that on telly aside the Love Islands because it's a lot, isn't it?
I mean, you know, you don't want any of your family seeing you doing the hanky panky.
I know.
And like anyone that knows me or has watched me on any of the Late Lives previous to this season of CBB, I'm so skeptical of relationships in there because I sometimes think it always seems to be the people that are kind of middle of the road people. Am I being a shady hoe?
No.
That said, Henry and Jordan still together, love them. I said it. I admitted I was wrong on season whatever the following season.
Wait, they split up?
What?
Babe, oh my God, I can't believe you're hearing this from me. Babe, they split up last week.
No.
Like whilst you were in there.
No. What?
I'm not even lying.
I feel bad for them now.
Yeah, fuck, it was announced.
All right, I was right then. I'm joking. Yeah, but they had a good run.
They did have a good run, and it's been sad. I love it when news breaks and I get to watch someone's genuine reaction. I get
Have they
some sort of kick out of
actually?
it. Yeah. Bless them. It was, and then they spoke about it on, I think it was the night of, they spoke about it was the Triple Tuesday. That's the night when they split up and it was announced, yeah.
That'll have been my fault, that. Surviving Triple Tuesday sent them over the edge. I'm joking.
Always.
And I think they're really nice boys, so I thought they had a show. And then there was another couple in another civilian that...
the recent one, it was Nathan and Baked Potato.
Baked Potato, I loved her,
yes. Same. She was too good for him.
Yeah.
Just going to put that out
And
there.
he's weirdly like anti-trans and part of the community. A couple of my friends have been like, that Nathan off Big Brother slagged you off. And I was like, it's okay, she's trying to stay relevant.
I don't understand people like that like to pick and choose when they want to just dip their toe into the...
Me either.
The pond, and then
Me either,
you know what I mean.
But good for them all. We're all trying to hustle in this world.
Exactly that.
And I hope if he has done videos on me, they've gained a bit of traction for him. I do.
I hope you've
like
hashtagged
everyone's
Danny
hustling.
Beard.
I hope you've tagged me at least.
Biggest diva in the house.
Me.
Do you think? Honestly, genuinely. No, I'm not saying you're not a diva. I'm just saying that.
No, I wasn't really a diva. Like, I definitely, I was like gagging for the Hoover and it only had an hour battery. So you're like trying to get it. I was gagging for so I chip in and like I cook for people and like I'm very caring. But I think I do like, I do like have a presence.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a drag queen, for God's sake.
When you were the mummy of the house, you definitely
I
made it
loved
known.
being the mum of the house. My control freak side came out.
It was phenomenal TV.
I don't know how much of it was acting.
Best episode
Thanks.
this series.
I think so too. I've only seen 2 of them, but
it's so good. And I had a red lip and the same wig at home, and I was frantically yesterday trying to find a polka dot dress because I was gonna do this whole episode dressed as you.
That is
Couldn't
so
find
camp.
a fucking polka dot dress. I even went to Mum's last night. She was like, "Got nothing in your size."
Well, do you know what? I have that polka dot dress,
You still got it?
and I think Mother might be coming back for summer.
I say do a festival appearance dressed as Mother.
I'm thinking bigger.
Oh, okay. O2 headline.
I mean, I don't think we'd sell it out to you.
I think we would. Most two-faced in the house.
Most two-faced.
Again, these are you can sip if you want to.
House. I know, but I just think you're asking me them. I might as well say.
No, I love it.
No, I'll sip because I like the person now that comes to mind.
I like this one. Who's most likely to leak a group chat? Well,
first of all, there is no group chat, and if there is, I'm not in it.
This always makes me sad when people talk about these after shows because I thought, like, surely you'd make a chat. Why don't you make the chat?
Because I've only got a handful of the numbers. It'd be a bit of a shit group
You
chat.
like messaging ITV. Can I get Mickey Rourke's WhatsApp, please?
Well, Mickey said, I don't know what you saw and what you didn't. I did Mickey's makeup for him on an eviction night because he was like, I need makeup.
That's why he looked tea in that.
Did you not see me do his makeup?
We didn't see. We only saw him turn up looking camp, and I was like, oh my God.
So I did his makeup for him, and we had the most in-depth, beautiful chat.
None of that was shown.
Was it not? Well, listen, then it's between us. But
Yeah.
I think he
the
was like,
extra
I'd
day
get your
later,
number after this. I'll get it off that girl. And then he mentioned one of the production's names, and I was like,
That's probably why it was cat.
yeah, I was like, okay, do you want a bit of moisturiser on those hands, Mickey?
You setting spraying like
I was doing moisturiser on his hands, so he wasn't like looking like dry. He said he'd had a really long sunbed before he came in.
Had he?
He was shedding.
And the rest, bless him. He looked like he'd been through it. And if you okay, this is a good one. Also, I got given this question. You're going to die at this.
Go on.
It's basically if you had to be stuck on a desert island with one of the contestants, who would it be?
Fab.
I got given this for my exit interviews for Late and Live, and I fucked it up because it was about midnight and I was so tired. And I said, who would you leave on a desert island? And all the producers behind the camera going like this, and I can see Patsy's like ready to answer. And they were all like, Joe, you've got it wrong. So you can also answer that if you want. Who would you leave and who would you want to take? But
I'd take Donna Preston, hands down, boots the house
In a
down.
heartbeat.
Mother would take her.
yeah.
And then I'd leave her there. No, I wouldn't leave her there.
Oh.
Who would I leave? Maybe Mickey. No, I wouldn't. I like Mickey. I don't even know why I said it. I don't think I'd leave anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe Jack because he won and I wanted to.
Do you know what, babe? I say if you left like what?
I'm joking,
200
by the way.
tea bags.
That was a joke. If you left 200 tea
Actually,
bags and
200's
some
not
northern
enough.
water in some butts, he'd be fine.
Be there.
Yeah, and a camera and a couple of curry scripts. He'd
No,
be great.
genuinely. That's all he chatted about was tea the whole time. I was kind of obsessed. At least he had his thing.
He's the type of boy that looks like he prefers Yorkie chocolate over everything else, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
What, with the raisins in as well.
Do you remember
Yorkie chocolate.
Do you remember?
I do. What was it like? Not for girls.
Yeah, do you remember years ago it was like, not for girls, the chocolate.
Yeah,
Jack's the kind of bloke that still likes a Yorkie bar.
dipping it in his tea.
Yeah.
I know the type. That's so
I
funny.
love that for him.
So one thing about Big Brother, and as we've just mentioned, is that not a load of it is always shown, and there's some really amazing bits that are never really, put into the final edit. Obviously, I know you've only seen a couple of episodes, but were there any moments in there that you know of from coming out and chatting to people that didn't make it that you want to talk about or tell us about?
I've literally watched 2 eps and I should watch more, but Firstly, before I answer the question, part of me is like, I'm enjoying living in the bubble of the reaction, of the messages that I get online, of the lovely pieces of, or these interviews I'm doing, or like the bits of media. It's all been so positive. So I didn't want to draw myself in and start thinking, oh, that's missed or that's missed. Oh, I remember the experience, and everyone else has been so nice. I kind of almost don't want to join the two up, because when I watched the family app and the pirate app, well, first of all, the family app, what I will say is there's about 100 rules we had to follow. There wasn't 100, I'm being a dramatic cow, but there was so many rules, like the baby's food had to be blended. If it didn't touch the blender, we'd fail. So there was all these extra rules. So when I was stressed that morning, you best to believe mother was stressed. So when I was like, I'm talking, it's because we were trying to work out the rules and they were all screaming. And I was like, have we followed this rule? Because basically the whole task and the shopping budget basically fell on me and Jack's shoulders.
Right, okay.
But the other thing is, I watched it in the hotel bed with my boyfriend, and it was like, it's lunchtime. And I was like, are they fucking messing? We'd been at it for 5 hours already by this point. I was like, are they joking?
And they just completely like omit so much, don't they? And it's the storylines they make up, it is crazy, because I think I can't even imagine what you were going through in those challenges. And they just make it out like it was so relaxed and chill.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's Chris and Ella just eating some food.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But what I will say is, for the bits I've seen, it's like, if something happens in there, when there was the bust up with Mickey, you know, a few of us would chat sometimes and you go, God, that's going to be fucking in that show tonight. Like, wonder what will happen, what will be the reaction. And I suppose when you come out, you think, oh, me and Donna had such a really funny time chatting at the side of the hot tub. We were absolutely wheezing. That must be in it, because we found it so funny. And then I'm like, oh, did you see me and Donna crying, laughing about this story? And my boyfriend's like, no. I'm like, oh. So it's just such a, I don't know, it's props to production. Yeah. I love TV so much, and I think the production on this show, they're the unsung heroes. The directors, the editors, the producers, the storyliners, the crew that come up with the tasks.
And even getting that stuff in, like while you're all asleep and everything, and redecorating the house each time is amazing. As well.
But sometimes we did hear them.
Did you? I mean, it's hard not to
when you
bloody... I've got a question.
Well, like, there better be a stage in there. I was like, the Sugar Babes better be coming in. We better be having a special guest.
I was going to say, when they were doing Late and Live in the garden on a Sunday, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Because Will would say, you know, like they won't be able to hear us inside. There's
we
a lot
could hear
that.
Was there an audience? Because we could hear screaming and cheering.
I don't know. Maybe
did you go in the garden?
I didn't do the garden. Oh. I know. I really want to do. I did the runs.
Did you?
I had the runs. Did the runs?
Don't talk about it, because I had constipation and then the runs.
Right.
This is a thing in there.
Another thing I want to speak to you about, and this is my thing, reality TV. If I ever do a show, I'm a shy pooper, shy weir, right?
This is it. This is why I was constipated.
And in that room, because I've only been to like the house, the civilian one, like when it first relaunched, the toilet is off the bedroom, isn't it? And it's
there's
like,
a couple. There's two off the bedroom in the bathroom, and there's one next to the storeroom near the kitchen.
Even if I heard someone just pottering about outside, couldn't poo.
It's not about that. Let me tell you, you've got a microphone round your neck. I felt sorry for Dave on sound, or I don't know his name. I'm just making the name up. Yeah. So I'm like, I'd go, oh, pardon. Oh, God, that's a big one. I'd like talk to them a bit, because I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be like, sorry. I'd fart and be like, sorry.
That's
because I'd think some man is sat there, or some person is sat there listening to this. Yeah, it's rough. I had constipation the first week, and apparently it's a thing that happens to people in Big Brother. Yeah. Like, they know about it. And then Donna made me the strongest coffee, and then I had backflow diarrhea. But I had that in the toilet by the kitchen, and Daly said he heard me.
No.
Yeah, and when I say I was embarrassed, it was like someone was pebble dashing in there. I was punishing the porcelain girl.
That's my whole thing, and I always speak to the Love Islanders when they do the show, and that's even worse, because like you got to think you've also got everything out all day. My backup bloat would be just absolutely. I can't even think about it. But that's one question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, no, it is raw.
Yeah, I can imagine. Alliances in the house, right?
Yeah.
I felt like did I feel like there was an alliance maybe between Chris and Jojo, but that was just like a friendship alliance? Did you feel like any others formed? Because typically in civilian Big Brother, they're very big on the alliances.
Yeah.
I feel like Celeb was a bit different, but there was definitely like subgroups, wasn't there? And then observers, like Daly was a bit of an observer.
Daly was definitely an observer.
Yeah.
Let me think. I mean, you could say friendships are alliances, and I became close with Donna. So maybe there's an alliance, but we didn't form one.
Yeah.
You know, she's my mate. I would have
wasn't like
never
an
nominated
official-
her. She didn't need, you know, I was quite confident as my mate she wouldn't have nominated me, but you never know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, really. Like, but I don't.
Different dynamic to the civilian one, isn't it? Like,
I think.
totally. In terms
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and the thing is as well, which I love this season, everyone got the memo. They all understood the assignment. They all threw themselves into it. You know, bar Mickey, who was, you know, probably there for the paycheck, but that's fine. But I think last year there was a lot more contestants that were just there for the paycheck.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So,
mean, one of them literally checked out like it was a hotel.
Yeah.
The way Sharon went, guys, this is my last day.
Yeah.
So nice to see you all. The money's hit, so
Yeah.
I'll see you all in LA.
well, apparently she wanted to stay at the end.
Did she?
But I mean, I
Fucking
don't know. That's
mental.
alleged. I don't want to get
Yeah.
myself in hot water. But apparently
Yeah.
she wanted to stay near the end. But production were probably like,
We
we can't
can't
afford you.
afford. It was just, that was comedy gold TV.
They were great.
She was like,
They were
"Done my
great
thing,"
contestants.
weren't they?
Yeah, but you know, they were there for the paycheck, and I think that's why we saw someone like David win, who was so authentic and threw himself into it, and
Yeah.
really embraced the challenges last year. I'm talking about, if anyone doesn't know, but yeah,
Can we speak about Jojo? Like, not
if you want, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I'm interested enough, girl. Come now.
Yeah.
I know. Go on. What you got? What do you
No,
want to say?
because so in the hot tub, you obviously called out Jojo
Yeah.
and Chris and said what the nation were thinking, and that's why we all love you. Because honestly, that question was everywhere. I was getting asked it on Lorraine, and I thought, I'm
Was
not
it that big?
because everyone wanted to figure out what was going on. And I just wanted to know, was it at the point for you at the end where you thought, I'm going to have to say something?
This is the truth I already had.
Right. Okay.
So I had already said something before, like a joke in the bathroom, in the bedroom. And I think I'd had a little shadow nerve to pop, a little mojito. I had a little drink, so it just came out a lot more me. But
Yeah.
that's how I talk with my mates, and that's how they talk to me. I've got an incredible group of friends at home. I'm sure you're the same. You know, most of us are queer or allies or whatever, and we have a sense of realness about us
Yeah.
that ground us all and keep us together. Like, none of my friends are in this industry. You know, I don't really hang around with celebs, so I didn't treat any of them in there like they were anything other than the same as me. At the end of the day, I'm quite aware I was probably the most unknown going in, but we've all been booked on the job, so I'm going to treat you like me mate. So I did worry that it might look like something.
Yeah.
So I said it.
I think it was obviously like a big storyline, but I still stand by the fact that where Chris was in Love Island and had that Chris and Ken bromance, that is how I saw it, watching it. And I don't feel like there isn't much queer representation in TV between like straight people and gay people, just like, you know what I mean, as a whole, just with those relationships and stuff. And it's always getting confused. And I said that they're obviously just friends, but we don't see much of like a straight guy getting on with like a queer woman, and it was getting confused.
My thing for this is, firstly, whatever their relationship is up to them. But, and I tend to agree with you here. But I find it weird that the obsession with the both of them, because I'm starting to worry, is it leaning into a straight man turning a lesbian?
Sure.
What are the connotations around why people are so obsessed?
Yeah.
Why can't two friends just be friends?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what I mean?
And I think it was difficult for the audience as well because and I wasn't in there, so I don't know what the context was. But for us, Jojo didn't speak much about her partner, only on occasion. So I think that we didn't see much of that. So everyone at home was also like, "What is going on there?" And then it's transpired to be what it is. But it was just interesting for me because you were one of the only people that was seen, objectively to say what is going on here. But obviously, like they made the edit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like to me, it's not been like a negative thing, and it's been nice that they've come out and owned it and spent time together and, whatever.
I'm just a bit pissed off that it was such a big storyline because there was loads going on in them first couple of weeks. Donna Preston was genuinely funny from the minute she walked in.
Yeah. And
do you know what I mean?
She was, and she was hysterical, and her nominations were my favourite thing because Big Brother had to be like, "Can you take this seriously, Donna?" She was like...
I wish I'd have thought about it like Donna before I went in because I was so stressed. It made me feel so two-faced. I was literally grasping at straws to nominate people.
The face-to-face nominations for you was difficult with Jojo. Were you quite close to her in there? And then was that a bit of a turning point? Yeah,
because I felt genuinely like and I still do like and love Chris and Jojo. But it was just at a point where everyone felt so close. Mickey had gone and we had been able to get a bit closer because there wasn't that kind of, elephant in the room that I felt like I was trying to keep him involved. Other people didn't want him nowhere near. It was an awkward time for us. And I said it on there. My genuine thing was, the only thing I can think of is you two are very much a unit yourselves. And that's the only disconnect in the group. Yeah. If you two weren't just you two, we'd all be one massive harmonious. And we're one harmonious, family, if you will. But it was really tough. And I was like, before we went in, I was like, if this is face to face, because like, if you know the show, and Bloody Jack was like, be face to face today. Definitely. Are you all ready for face to face today? And I was like, do you think, Jack? I was like, yeah, it's going to be, isn't it? I was like, it's definitely going to be. And I was like, I'm just going to tell them I'm not doing it. I'm just going to say, I'm not doing it. And then what? What are they going to do then? Like me acting like Billy Big Bollocks. And then they get in and go face to face. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
With the face to face nominations, because I guess when you're in your drag character, if I can say that.
Yeah.
It must be very different because I guess that you've kind of got that confidence and character and aura to be able to feel like you could just say something. It's like on a roast on Drag Race. It's very different to sit in there and nominate.
Oh my God,
people.
A roast is so different. Yeah. A roast, I like massive, anyone that's ever seen one of my drag shows, most of my comedy is made up on the spot. I'm roasting the audience, I'm roasting myself, I'm roasting celebrities. To be able to do a successful roast, it's got to come with love. And this was the opposite of that. You had to find reasons. And why somebody might leave.
Yeah.
And it feels personal. When Jojo nominated me, it felt personal. My instant reaction was, can you give me an explanation? Because it felt so personal.
I found the reasoning difficult because I see a lot of myself in you in the way that you deal with situations. And personally, if I see a difficult conversation happening or there's a mood needs uplifting, you best believe I'll be the first in the room
to crack a joke.
Cracking a joke. Hey, divas, what's going on? You know what I mean? So I felt that it was very clutching at straws, but I guess that's what the environment is. You don't want anyone to go. You do have to clutch at straws, but it is a difficult one. So I can imagine it being super stressful.
It was super stressful. And also the emotions of going, oh my God, I've just made it to the final of my favourite show, a celebrity version. Oh my God, and I've never been up. Felt like an achievement. I thought, wow, that's so, because I was genuinely worried that I'd be too much for the housemates and I'd be up every week. That was a genuine worry. Yeah, because like I'm loud, I'm very gay. I crack jokes 24/7. Like that might not fly with everyone.
I think you fitted into the cast in such a good way that
I hope so.
You were like, there was no way that they couldn't have had you in there. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Yeah.
But that was my emotion, was I got to that point and then it was like such a curveball. And now you're up. I'm telling you now, when you're up, you think you're going to go. You don't know what the people are seeing. So you are so stressed. You think you're going to... I was like pacing, Like,
And
I
how
don't
did you
want to
feel-
go. I
How did you
wanted
feel
to
about Triple
stay.
Tuesday then when you found out that was happening? Because you
Well, I
found
got
out on the
absolutely
night.
leathered. Did you not see me get absolute? I was like, wow.
I saw you pacing and stuff as it, because you guys didn't know until that night, did you?
No. And then Will said another 2 will go. And we were like, 2?
The audience were feral as well that night. The crowd
They were
outside.
booing.
I know. And the one thing about the Big Brother crowd that I feel like must be really anxiety inducing for you guys is that it is pantomimey, and like everyone was booing Ella and then she came out and it was like, yes! And so it is just like that. But it must be hard. You hear those boos. I would shit myself. I'd run off and cry in the bedroom.
I was so scared that they were going to boo, and they give me such a nice reaction. And I thought, okay, maybe I won't go. And then it was like, and someone else went. And then when he was like another 2, I was like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm back to going again.
No,
because I thought there's no way out of 5 people, 3's going and I'm staying.
Yeah.
You just don't think like
They
that.
got rid of all the girlies, didn't they?
I know.
I know. But I wanted to ask as well, doing TV as Danny Beard, the drag queen, compared to now, like how rewarding has it been to feel so seen as yourself? Because it must be such a different way of doing TV than you've ever done before.
Like I've been lucky. Like when I was last on Late and Live, I said I'll do half the I'll do a couple appearances out of drag.
Okay.
I pushed for that, so that was the first time I'd ever done TV properly
Was
out of drag.
it?
Other than in Drag Race and the interview,
Yeah.
but you judged on your drag, and that's what you're in and out of it, and it pushes you. To honestly have people get behind, like me, Danny behind the beard, if you will. Danny behind, someone coined that.
That needs to be
that's
a
a reality show.
autobiography title.
Reality show. It just felt so. I felt loved, and when you're loved as a drag queen, I'm very fortunate in my career. Drag Race gave me such a passport and a platform, and I loved the show and everything it's brought me. But people tell you how good you are at your job. And when your job, you look completely different. You feel completely different. And it's like it's a bit of an exaggerated version of yourself. Drag gives you that kind of armor or, I feel like a clown. I call myself a shady singing clown because that's what you do. So when people say they love that, well, you can kind of get on board with it because you think, well, yeah, I've done over 10 years. I've cut my teeth. I used to drive myself to 4 clubs a night.
Yeah.
And, and I've worked my way up and I know I'm good at drag. So that sounds so cocky, but, you should be good at your job after that long, I think. But then to go into this environment and you are just living and existing and being you, and then to get that reaction, well, I firstly felt a little bit like I didn't deserve it when I first came out and I walked the streets. Because everyone was like, Danny. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I've just lived in a house and made a new couple of mates. And then I was almost a bit like, well, maybe I didn't need to put all this bloody work in. Maybe I don't need to tuck me
You
bits
selling
between
some
me
wigs
legs.
on Depop now. No, I get it, because I always think this about queens that then go on to do different forms of shows, and even like what the Vivian did on Dance on Ice. I feel like there's a different form of almost like accountability, because you almost have to prove yourself double in what you're doing, which I feel like drag queens are held to a way too high standard anyway in what everyone does, because it's just like the craziest, most inspiring art form that I know. And I think that by going into the house and just being yourself, it must have been terrifying, but also like it's great that you just went in and Fanny's
looking at me like, hurry up.
But no, I think it's amazing that you went in and were able to just completely be yourself and didn't have that emphasis on like, Danny, put on some makeup. She just went in my legs and went, do you want me to hurry up? You're saying I want to go outside for a wee.
Leave. She just wants attention, and I don't know where she gets it.
That was the funniest thing. Honestly, you're the first dog to pop in between my legs on a.
And she's called Fanny.
And you're Fanny, and you're the closest I've been to a Fanny. And I didn't know they felt like this either.
No, I'm sorry the dog derails your combo.
No, it's okay. I'm loving it.
And thank you, because that really does mean a lot. But I agree, and sometimes I think, just as queer people, I think people think, oh God, gays are in entertainment everywhere. But I sometimes think we have to work twice as hard to get the same opportunities. You know what I mean? Like Drag Race is so taxing and amazing. But to go through that process, and then afterwards, I was thinking after Drag Race, oh, I'll be in the jungle at Christmas, I'll be on this, that, and the other. And it's not. It's been another 3-4 years of knocking on doors and getting no's and being in the mix for big shows like CBB and not quite making the cut. And that's just part of the industry. We all go through it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do think we almost have to work twice as hard. And me doing stuff in and out of drag sometimes also feels like peddling 2 jobs at once.
Of course.
You know, these appearances and TV and bits in and out of drag and radio and whatever. And then the drag, it's like, but if you want to make people laugh, darling,
exactly.
There's a hustle to it.
But you've done well with your pod as well. You've got the Gossip Gaze pod, and that's great as well because people have gotten to know you and your opinions outside of drag, which I think is super important.
Thank you. And that's a real, thing for the community. It really is for the girls, the gays, and the days. And listen, there's loads of allies and people that tune in with it, but it's funny, it's filthy.
You do that every week?
We do it every single week. We just got an award at the British Podcast Awards for best.
Stop it.
Yeah, we won. Well, it was bronze, but you can cut the bronze bit and just say we won an award. We won a...
Baby, that's still an award I'm yet to receive.
And we won for best sex and relationships. So we help people, we give advice on queer life, and we love all of the people that get involved with us. And we literally 3 letters a week we answer to our audience. And then we tell what's been going on in our lives.
Yeah. Do you think that the podcasting helped you with conversations in the house? Because as you've said earlier, I feel like you kind of gave Mickey an ear to be listened to and heard, even though what was going on in the house was totally rogue. Do you feel like that?
Totally rogue.
Baby, it was... That's me trying to be really
You were being so nice. Totally rogue.
Yeah, well, it fucking was. So yeah, do you feel like that, having that helped as well? That kind of chatty...
I've always been a chatter. I've always been quite good at chatting,
and getting it out of people.
And whenever I interview people, people have said things like, "Oh my God, you made me so relaxed. You're so easy to talk to." But I think I get that from my mum. I had conversations about sexuality young with my mum and all different things. And, they've always been really open book with me, my parents. So I think I learned that from them. And then it's, probably doing the podcast probably helped. But
always a strong woman, isn't it? That helps.
It's always and I'm still like that now. All the people around me are real strong women or gays, which is really bad to say, but it's the truth.
We keep them close.
But it's the truth. I love a powerful woman.
Yeah, as do I. My last question on the interview side of things.
Are we still doing the sippy thing, Savant?
No, babe, that's long
gone. Did we leave that?
We didn't actually change the colours. Fuck! The colours normally change. We'll add that in post.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just going to go multicolour today. It's
listen, it's a different app.
Exactly.
It's a different app.
Camp, it's chill. Friday morning, weekend's coming. If you could, so would you change anything going back? Would you do anything differently? Everyone always asks that, don't they?
Probably wouldn't have made a comment about the Union Jack because that seemed to rile people up. So I was like, it's not a great flag. I mean, that is my opinion. I just think we should be aware of our own history. Yeah. But anyway.
Okay.
But I just maybe wish I hadn't said that.
You saying that probably because I low-key agree with it. So I was just it didn't even faze me.
Do you know what? I'm not, that was just trying to give you an answer. Genuinely, no. And this is why I've not fully watched it yet. And I've said to my podcast producers on the Gossip Gaze, I was like, if there's any really horrible comments, please delete them. But I've not really had any really horrible comments. I mean, you do. And I think I will say I've felt a shift post Big Brother.
Okay.
I used to seek out the negative comments and sit and torture myself with them. And there is negative comments out there about me. Too much, wanted to win too much. Was playing up. I've seen them. But there's been a weird shift where I'm I felt so much love.
Yeah.
I'd be doing all of them people a disservice. Do I sound really big-headed? But
no,
I just feel like you can't receive that much love and focus on the negative. So I feel so fortunate. I really do. I didn't really do anything. I just went and had fun.
Yeah.
It's
so
real.
easy though to come out and check X, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it's called. And that, which is like one of the worst places for it.
I think TikTok's the worst.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's hard because I guess it depends on like where your native thing is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Of, like,
yeah.
But I do agree. It's very easy on both platforms to be quite faceless with it and just, throw opinions. But I think that all I've seen is such positive, amazing things about you online.
So nice.
And so much support, and like even that you've come second and you're like everyone's winner, which is amazing. Sorry, I do think Jack was great and obviously he did really well, but I'm just biased here. I'm just biased. This is our little game that we're going to end with, right?
Yes.
So it's called, we have the messy bag, right? There we go, the lights change. It's one of our bags.
Do you have these as merch or what?
No, but everyone keeps coming in and saying that,
Why?
so I fucking need to. I need to sell these bags, guys. I don't even know where they're from. They're gorge, aren't
They're
they?
so gorge.
Oh my God, and
The messy bag's good, the goodie bag.
they're cute, aren't they?
Yeah, I love the colouring and everything. Come
We need-
on, girl.
we need to
She's
get
a
them
merch
sold.
queen.
I need an Etsy
You
shop.
need to get an Etsy shop.
I fucking do. So what I wanted to do was rate the final five
Go on.
outside of you, and you say the best and worst thing about living with them, just like objectively.
Ooh,
So I've got
okay.
firstly, and also this is messy of me, but to start
on.
this segment off, I've actually written down the voting figures because I was really interested.
Oh my
and
God,
you were
you-
35.72 and Jack was 37.37. So it was literally in it. Like it was that much between, which is crazy. So I hope that makes you feel good because that was a really close tie for the final spot. And then there was a lot off from the other one. So yeah, you were loved. But
was nice.
So Jack, like best and worst thing about living with him.
Best thing is sense of humour. Once I fully got him, he's so quick. And quite often we both make a joke, and sometimes he just get there before me, or I just get there before him.
Love that.
And he also has chihuahuas, and I've got a hairless chihuahua, and I love that. And not that came into living with him, but I just appreciate that about him. Worst thing about living with him is constant need and demand for tea. Even when Big Brother would be like, can all housemates gather at the sofas? We'd all gather at the sofas, and Jack would be setting the kettle on, and they'd be like, all housemates gather at the
It was
sofas.
something special, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone that dedicated to something really.
No, me either.
It was inspiring.
I think something. I think he wants a Tetley tea deal.
Well, I think it might be coming after that. So, okay. And then Jojo, best and worst.
Jojo, best and worst. Best thing about living with her is getting to know her. I was a Jojo Siwa fan. I'm still a Jojo Siwa fan.
Aren't we
I think
all?
she's an incredibly strong person, and I love her, actually. Worst thing was probably her energy straight away in the morning.
Right.
Like, I need a coffee.
Yes.
I needed to talk to the wall outside. I just needed 5 minutes.
It's a mellow into your day a bit.
And
you know?
she's like, straight away, come on, guys, it's going to be a great day today. And I'm like,
Angelica was like that, wasn't she, as well?
a little.
And I think I'm exactly the same as you. And that would have brought a tear to my eye because I thought I couldn't do it. I'm not a positive, upbeat person every day.
I love Angelica Bell, but when that day with the pan, honey, I don't know if this even was on or not, but I was like, I was going to shove that pan.
You were all fuming. I think it was Donna that was actually going to lose it, which I was really excited to see because I was a big Donna fan in the house.
I didn't think she wouldn't have lost it. It wasn't that deep.
No, I know, but
I just get the feeling it was just a bit like, if it was a joke, and I'm the same. This is why me and Donna are so similar, because I'm like, if it was a joke, I should be in on the joke at some point, not 4, 5, 6 hours later.
It was a
find
joke.
out
I
it's
should
a
be
joke.
laughing.
Well,
And I'm not laughing. So where's the joke? Fine. Okay, cool. So Donna, best and worst.
best thing about Donna is Donna. So am I answering the same thing for everyone?
No,
but it's
no.
this true sense of humour. She reminded me every day while I was there, which was to have fun. And she brought that out of me and kept me on that track. And also, like, she had my back in terms of when I got pissed that night. Had that been the wrong group of people, they could have been like, have another one.
Yeah.
Why don't you have another one?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And
If they
tell
were
us about,
mean.
you know, yeah.
And then her worst bit was she did snore. She did
Yeah.
a little. It's not that
Was
bad.
she the worst in the bedroom?
No, Mickey.
When
Mickey was the
gone.
other end of the room.
Okay.
And honestly, it measured at about a 2.4 on the Richter. I don't know what the measurements are on the Richter,
I think that's quite high.
But, well, 1.2 then.
So was anyone else like a farter in the night, a sleep talker? Was there any?
I fart.
You're a sleep farter. I'm a sleep farter too.
I'm a
Must be
farter
18.
24/7. My biggest worry before I went in was that I was going to be nominated for farting, and then I found out Jack nominated me for farting.
Oh, well, you know, I would have had the same anxiety, so don't worry. Chesney. Oh, Chesney.
There's nothing bad about Chesney apart from he expects me to know the lyrics to a song that was #1 before I was born. Other than that,
When was that song #1?
well, I'm 1992 and that was 1991 hit.
Oh, so I've got no fucking chance then.
I am the one and only. That's the only bit I know.
I kind of knew it.
I'm not reading him.
Yeah.
Biggest heart, such a family man, cared about his kids 24/7.
Yeah.
Spoke about his wife in such a beautiful way, was such a gentleman and like loved his kids. And like even likes the things he wore around the house. Oh, this is Jesse's, is one of his kids, or this is such and such one of his kids, or whoever. He'd always mention his kids and bring them into it. And you could just tell he was such a family man. And I said to him, like, if I ever have kids one day, I hope I'm a dad like you, because you can just feel the love of him.
No, he was a great housemate as well.
He was great.
And up for anything, which we love. That day when he had to sing his song on repeat so everyone could have a shower.
I was in the shower. I felt like so guilty. But
I was dancing along.
I was like, oh, my phone.
And lastly, Chris.
Best thing about living with Chris, he made me feel very welcome straight away. As a very overtly camp and feminine man myself. I didn't have to work to win him round. Yeah. I didn't have to work him out. I didn't think he was unsure of me. He made me feel instantly comfortable, and that continued through the whole stay in there, really. And I do really appreciate and love that about him. I think he's a really nice lad. Worst thing is, what's his worst thing? I mean, his worst thing, actually, this is the tea. And you probably won't agree. Okay. Look at you when I said this is the tea. You like totally look down the lens like we're getting something juicy. You are
I do it all the time.
Outrageous.
I do it all the time.
You are
Why
outrageous.
are you trying to clock me? I do it all the time.
No, don't wink at them as well. Okay, this is the tea. And
I should start doing this.
he would get naked.
Oh.
Before he got in the shower. But I get uncomfortable. Like, I'm like,
right.
oh my God, there's a strap. Because I'm like, I don't want the straight guy to think I'm looking at him. I think he wanted it. But he would just like get undressed and get in the shower, and I'd turn around and be like, naked.
Yeah. I am like that in a gym changing room as well.
Yeah.
Tunnel vision.
It's like a trauma for gays from PE,
from being
right?
at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting it whipped in your face. And, you know, I went to a very
What school did you go to? I didn't get nothing whipped in my face.
They're harsh in Essex. On to our final segment, which is the goodie bag. I have a gift for you. It's in my bag. Bear with me 1 second. My gift to you, is, because you're my winner, I've got you this little. It's not a Drag Race budget vibe with the crown and scepter. Some pins in there that you're able to put in. Not the disgust.
You.
I think this is actually a real diamond on it. This is
Thank
for you.
you so much.
That's okay.
What is this, a tiara?
I think so, yeah.
Is it real metal?
Yeah, it's
So it's got some worth if I take it straight to cash. Oh, you bought it on Temu. Did you know? You must have known well ahead of time I was coming on here if you bought this on Temu. Or did you just buy a load of cheap shit and think, what will fit Danny today?
Me, I have a big cupboard at home full of shit.
Hats.
And I love it. And I went, Danny's getting the tiara.
But you know what? I love that you've got a show called Not My Bag, but now I want to see what's in your cupboard. Not my cupboard. This won't stay on my hair's all. Oh, my head's big enough. It just wedged on.
You kind of look like Princess Diana right now. The highest compliment. You've nailed it. All you need is a little black dress. We're just taking...
Sorry, I'm just looking just for the people listening. I'm just doing a Joe and connecting with camera number 1.
We're just going to let him say a face for like a couple seconds. face has been served. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been so lovely to have a chat with you. Like I've watched your pod and the clips and everything.
Bless.
And so when you went in, like was totally rooting for you. And I was so happy that you've come out and you're doing well and can't wait to see what you do for the rest of the year. Is there anything you want to like plug or anything coming up you want to tell people about?
No, just check. I've got a little link in my Insta and stuff like that. All my gigs get updated on there. I'm doing loads of prides.
Okay,
good.
Doing
a big pride tour. We'll put it all together and do it as a proper announcement for the pride tour.
Okay.
There's loads of physical live stuff you can engage with, and there's some exciting stuff bubbling away in TV land. So let's hope everything comes true.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You.
Thank you for bringing Fanny. I've loved it. I've loved every second. Guys at home, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I don't know why I just panicked then. And I will see you next week and loads of love. Thank you. Bye-bye.